Hey guys, just trying to fit in here. Just trying to fit in. Sorry for that huge break in battles. I had a lot of schoolwork to do, and I still have finals next week, but those are always easier than the schoolwork due before the finals. You'll see my school videos up on YouTube, on my channel. Anyway, I also got a new mic for Hanukkah. Isn't that cool? As if you can see it. I have a battle here against AleksanderU, and I decided to redo my Sunny Day team, so we'll see how well that goes. He leads with a Swampert, I lead with a Ninetales. I just go straight for the Solar Beam, but he survives and uses Stealth Rock. After not wanting to die, he goes into his Arugamoth and Hidden Powers, I think. I hope that was a Hidden Power. Either Rock or Ground. And while he does that, I just go for a Toxic. Boy, those leftovers sure do take a long time. I have this playing at 1.666 speed instead of 1.5, so if it feels fast, that's why. It doesn't feel fast to me, though. He goes for a Butterfly Dance, and I just go for a Flamethrower to get damage on him, because I know Ninetales can take his Butterfly Dances and things, and at least one more Hidden Power. I go for a Protect now to rack up the Toxic damage, while he goes for a Bug Buzz expecting me to switch. And I think during the battle I didn't even see the Hidden Power, so that's why I didn't switch. But here I switch now, and I go into my hot stuff, because Charizard and, you know, never mind. He goes for a Bug Buzz again, expecting me to switch, and I'm expecting him to use Bug Buzz again because I just used Protect. And after Solar Power, my Charizard is pretty much nearly dead. It's not going to survive one more turn after this. What also stinks is that his Chinchilla is Scarfed. What's good, though, is that it sucks as well, so it doesn't kill the Charizard. I just go for the Fire Blast to hit whatever comes in, and it does enough damage to kill the Swampert, which had been weakened during the beginning of the battle. I go into my I'm not even going to say it, Exeggutor, and he goes into his Chinchilla, and I know it's Scarfed, so I'm not going to let that outspeed me and then use U-turn. I go into my DK, my Daruma, which is also Scarfed. On this team at least. But he just uses Mach Punch and takes out the Daruma as if it were nothing. So, like, I had this huge debate with myself over Arcanine, which had more bulk, and then Daruma. And, you know, I used Arcanine for some time, and it kept dying on me, and then I switched to Daruma because at least that could get damage off, and now it dies on the first turn, so that's pretty bad. His Zapdos comes in, and I use a Swords Dance, which is pretty cool for me, because now I can just Stone Edge the Zapdos. And, he goes into his Starmie, and it must be a Specs Starmie, because it takes out my, Randarosu, Landlos, whatever you want to call it. And, do you get the nickname because you can catch it at the Fertility Shrine? Get it? Ha 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 ha. What? Exeggutor uses Solar Beam to take out the Starmie, and, you know, I thought he was going to switch, but, or maybe he thought he was faster than me, and that's why he stayed in to use Ice Beam. He goes into his Chinchilla, and he's obviously going to U-turn, and I'm making weird gestures with my hands that you can't see, I don't know why. He's obviously going to U-turn, so I go into my Ninetales, and now he's going to Mach Punch. But the thing is, I can live a Mach Punch. I think. Is that what I do? Yeah. So I live the Mach Punch and use Toxic. Which, is Guts, I believe. Activates his Guts, but that's okay. because I use Protect this turn to rack up some more toxic damage. He uses Mach Punch again. Doesn't work. See, this battle feels so slow to me, even though it's like faster than I normally do it. I go into my Red Dwarf because Lucky Star, or Victory Star, you know, whatever. Not Lucky Star. His Guts Mach Punch hits my Victini, and it doesn't hurt me enough to actually do something. So he goes out into his Chinchilla, and you know, I was actually planning to use Flare Blitz, but for some stupid reason, I used U-turn, probably expecting him to stay into the Repulsion. I think that's what happened. So I go into Exeggutor just to fodder, and obviously he's going to U-turn. And that Chinchilla is just wrecking me. And I would think that a Scarf Chinchilla would stink, but it's working pretty well. His Repulsion now is just, like, almost at half damage simply because of Toxic. He goes for a Mach Punch again, and I live, which sucks for him, and I use Flare Blitz and take him out, I believe. Yes. But in doing that, I take myself out because I get recoil from Flare Blitz. We both have one Pokemon left now, and his Chinchilla is the winner because I have problems with Stealth Rock. But guess what? This is a 2-battle video thingy thing. So now you get to see our rematch, and I traded my Daruma, which failed epically last time, for a Hitmontop, if you could glimpse at that green screen there. So the same thing happens, except he leads with his Chinchilla again. And I Protect because I know that thing can get Sweep Slap, Bullet Seed, and Rock. Why am I having trouble with this? Rock, what is that? You know, whatever. And it turns out he has the Rock one, and it hits 5 times because he has skill link. So I go into your dad because I know he can take it at least twice. And I guess he goes for a Thunderbolt expecting me to switch, but that doesn't work too well for him, and I Earthquake and take him out. Now he goes for a Sweep Slap because he knows it will do more than Rock Blast. Oh, I remembered. And it kills me off in 3 hits. Even though Rock Blast had a bunch of crits and Sweep Slap got 1 crit, I guess that's what happens when you use the moves. Anyway, I go into my Exeggutor, and he's scared because he doesn't really want to use Sweep Slap on my Exeggutor, and I use Sleep Powder on the switch, and now I'm using Psycho Shock just to accumulate some damage on this. I assume it's especially bulky Zapdos, because why else would it come in on an Exeggutor, which probably has Hidden Power Fire. Luckily for me, 2 Psycho Shocks is enough to take it out, and I'm sure you guys are predicting this already, that he sends out his Chinchilla and is already ready to use U-turn. But I was ready for that too, and he hasn't gotten Stealth Rocks up yet, so that's pretty cool. Because he didn't lead with his Swampert, he led with, you know, whatever. And my Charizard gets, like, not wrecked at all by U-turn again. And I get to use a Solar Power Fire Blast on his Arugamoth. And I guess he wasn't expecting for me to take it out, but it takes it out, so that stinks for him. Maybe he was just trying to get his Chinchilla back in so he could use Rock Blast. But his Rock Blast fails because I go into my Pinhead. Who you calling Pinhead? Feel free to tell me how terrible that was. Who you calling Pinhead? And it fails terribly because of my Intimidate as well as my Resistance, and Leftovers pretty much heals it up. I just go for the close combat because I just want to be safe and hit whatever switches in, or the Chinchilla if I'm really, really lucky. And he switches into a Swampert, which I guess is very, 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 very defensively bulky. And I want to go into my Charizard before he either attacks my Hitmontop or sets up his rocks. So he sets up his rocks after I go into Charizard. And he lived a Solar Beam from Ninetales last time, so I guess he's hoping that he can live a Solar Beam from the Charizard. But the Charizard is Solar Power, so that's definitely going to kill the Swampert. Now he gets to go into his Chinchilla again, and of course he's going to either Rock Blast or Sweet Slap, expecting me to switch into my my Hitmontop, and he does go for the Sweet Slap and gets more and more and more crits, which is, yeah, whatever. And so that puts me at a position where I can still live another Sweet Slap, luckily enough. And I go for the Rapid Spin here, which is nice. So now my Charizard can actually come back in and maybe even do something. And now I get to go for a Mach Punch, which is pretty nice for me because it super effects. And he's just going to go for the Sweep Slap to take me out. And it actually takes 4 hits to take me out, which means if he didn't get crits before, then that wouldn't have worked for him. I know my Exeggutor has enough bulk to take a couple Sweep Slaps, so I just send out the Exeggutor and go for the Sleep Powder on the switch. And he goes into his Repulsion. I actually have to use Sleep Powder twice, but it turns out I didn't have to use it the second time, even though I missed the first time, because Psycho Shock will one-hit KO the Repulsion. And I guess he was going for Payback, because Mach Punch is a resist and Payback is a super effect. Now I believe he's going to U-turn. It doesn't really matter because this is his last Pokemon, and I have 3 left now. But he decides to predict that I have 3 Fire-type Pokemon left and 1 Grass-type, and uses Rock Blast. And what's funny is he misses the Rock Blast finally, now that it doesn't matter. And I take him out. So that's a good back-to-back game, AleksanderU, and I hope to do this again sometime. Bye.